What's up, everybody? Today we have an shit lord. Ugh. What's up, everyone? Today we have some rad shit for you. We got this guy here and this guy fucking whores of Babylon. I got a nail on the first try, right? Check out this shit. Wilford Brimley, fucking whore. Ta-da! Jesus fucking hates a baby. Check it out! Woo! Good afternoon, chopper fiends. Fuck. A candy-coated cock sniffer. Behold, the glory fucking dick sniffing fart knocker. This is the power you have. Ah, my toe! Oh, corn dogs and butter. This thing fucking sucks. Fuck it, we're doing it live! Ladies and gentlemen, today we are going to embark on a wonderful journey of whimsy and wonder. We're going to explore the beautiful world of Peter Cottontail. Fuck that shit. We're gonna do some adult grown-up shit and build something cool. What's up, everybody? Today I'm gonna show you a product of ours that we call the Mono-Strut. The Mono-Strut is machined out of 60618 billet aluminum. It is a very simple part. This replaces your mono shock. So if you have a VT600 and you want the feel of a hardtail without having to weld everything or get struts, you can actually take out your mono shock, replace it with this beautiful mono strut, and you now effectively have hardtailed your Honda Shadow VT600, or VLX as some people call it. This is available on shoptjbc.com, and it fits the VT600 all years. The mono strut we offer lowers the bike as low as it can go without negatively affecting steering dynamics. If you go too low, you have a big amount of flop. You'll go whoop, whoop in the front end. Without getting into too much jargon, basically what's gonna happen at that point is when you go to take a left turn, the bottom part of your frame, well, the forward frame loop will end up scraping. On the left side of the bike, you have a kickstand mount. That will catch the pavement, and that's no fun when it catches the pavement. When you're going fast, you're not expecting it. So a great way to determine if the bike, the 600, is set up properly is if the foot pegs scrape first in a turn. Now, if you lay the bike over, you and a buddy can lean the bike over, foot pegs touch first, you're good. Lean it over the other way, foot pegs touch first, you're good. That kickstand touches first, you went too fucking low. You can do homemade shit. You can weld in a hardtail that we have. We have a 50% hardtail, which allows you to cut out this section of the frame, put in your own, and really turn the bike into a true hardtail chopper. Not everybody out there's got a welding machine, right? So this allows you to get that hardtail chopper feel and look without all the mess of cutting shit up and welding. The first step in installing the Antares kit, if you are going to use a mono strut, will be to remove the mono shock. You're gonna remove a big old heavy gross hunk like this and replace it with our beautiful mono strut. Now the tools needed for this are very basic. I recommend using Snap-on, Blue Point Max, something like that, something quality. Pittsburgh works just fine. Somebody tried to sneak one in here earlier, but gotta wake up real early in the morning to pull one over on me. So you're gonna want two 3/8 drive ratchets, an 8 or 10 inch 3/8 ratchet extension. I use the Wobble Plus drives because I can actually angle the socket on the end if I need to. A 17mm socket, a 14mm socket, 8mm Allen head socket, and then I have a 1/4 drive ratchet here with a 1/4 drive extension, and this is a 10mm socket. That's a deep wall socket. Simple set of tools you're gonna need to install the mono strut, so let's get fucking started. Are ya ready? Are ya fucking ready? All right, without further ado, we are going to get started on installing some awesome shit here. If you take a look at the side of the bike, you'll notice no side covers. We've done a few things ahead of time to not waste your time. So we've already removed the coil from the left side of the bike, excuse me, the right side of the bike. Fart noises are gonna happen a lot today. I don't know why. It's just really strong in my vocabulary. So the coil is normally gonna sit right here underneath your right butt cheek like that. It's attached with these two little 10mm bolts. Oops, there goes one. They look like that. There's one here and one here. I've already pulled those out. I've detached this clip, which is up here. That reveals two 10mm bolts underneath here. And these are 2 of 3 bolts that you're gonna need to remove to get to that mono shock. They hold in this piece of crap right here, which you really could throw away if you don't need this plastic stuff. Now we get to the fun stuff and work with our really cool hand tools. So gonna remove these 2 10mm bolts underneath here. Now, if you want to reinstall this brace, which is sort of important if you're gonna keep the plastic electrical stuff underneath your seat, keep the bolts. Keep that piece, don't throw it away. If you're gonna run this stuff, then make sure you hold on to that bolts. We're gonna have a few of them here by the end. This is a 2-for deal. Once you remove these bolts, you get this bracket here, this guy, comes out. That's your coil mount. You can set that aside. And take note, there's 2 different lengths of bolts. Oh yeah, Honda got real fucking squirrely on you. So the short one goes to the back, long one's at the front. Now this is free on this side. We're gonna go to the other side of the bike now. So now we're on the left side of your bike by your left butt cheek, and we're gonna remove the little bolt that's all the way down that little tiny hole. You can see right there, and this one right here. That. See it? See it? It's right there. And again, you're gonna use 10 millimeter, and we're gonna pop these off. Go. That's what comes out of that side. And that releases this little brace. That's the brace you're gonna pull out. Set it aside, don't throw it away yet. And we're gonna remove this 10 millimeter. This is your forward side cover mount. Pull the bolt out, little tiny guy. And then this is stuck in the plastic with a little shoulder. So it's gonna stick in there a little bit, but you just kind of wiggle it around, it pulls right out. Now I'm gonna go back to the other side of the bike. So the next step in installing this Mono-Strut is gonna be to get a jack under your bike. In my situation, I'll show you what I've got here. We have a bike on a lift. At the front, we've got a wheel vise, just clamps the wheel, and we have it tied down with ratchet straps. Ratchet straps. Make sure you spell that correctly. If you don't have a lift, that's quite all right. All you need to do is put the bike on the kickstand, and you can get a jack underneath this part of the bike right here. And the point of this is to take the pressure off of the mono shock. Now, if the mono shock is fully down, the bike's sitting on that, you're not gonna be able to get the bolts out. And then when you take them out, the whole thing's gonna go and you're gonna have a real hard time getting a Mono-Strut in there. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a little bit of pressure on this jack, lift it up a little bit. You can see the bike here is lifting up. Now at a certain point, it's just stretching the mono shock. So I'm only gonna lift it up a tiny bit from 0. So that's 0, nothing. Just gonna give it a little bit of love, that's it. So now we're gonna take both of our ratchets, 17 millimeter on one of them, and the 12 millimeter, 14, excuse me, it's 14 on the other. And I do need an extension on this side. And we're gonna remove the rear bolt of the mono shock. You don't have to use an extension if you want, you can go inside. It's just easier for me, I get a little bit of leverage. What really helps this project go a lot better is if you have sirens in the background, a fire truck going, mah, mah, and this is a cherry on top. You know you're definitely going to Chopper Town if you have somebody using a leaf blower, full blast, 50 feet away from your door. Perfect setting for doing chopper shit. Next step here, to install this Mono-Strut, you're gonna need 2 ratchets and a 14 millimeter socket and a 17 millimeter. We're gonna remove the rear bolt on this fucker. Now, what I'm gonna do is jack the bike up from not the swing arm. Don't jack the swing arm up. So I'm gonna put my thumb on this bolt. I'm gonna start jacking up real slow. Just jack like it real slow. And I can see the shock moving. Boop. That's the sweet spot. See that? The bolt's nice and loose. So now I'll take this nut off, throw it on the ground in a festive manner, and push this bolt all the way out. Pull it out the other side. There we go. You don't want to lose those things though. They are important. Rear of the shock is now free. Jiggly jiggly. See that? Fantastic. Now we're going to take number 8 Allen. I'm actually going to get a shorter extension. Go to the handy dandy extension wall here. And I'm going to get the same 17 millimeter. This is going to go on the other side. There we go. This side needs an extension because it's deep in there. I mean, this is probably overkill, so I'll get a shorter one. Got our 17 millimeter here, Allen on the other side. Not as loose as I thought it was. Sometimes they hit a little patch of rust or corrosion on the threads, and you think you're free, and it gets a little tight again. Okay. That nut comes off. Take our tool out of the other side. And this should push out if you wiggle the shock a bit, and it doesn't want to go. So we have a very simple tool for this problem called a drift. Brass, so we don't mar the threads. reach over the other side of the bike, and I should be able to pull this out. Ta-da! So now the hardware that you're gonna wanna hang on to, that's the rear bolt and nut for the Mono-Strut, and there's the forward bolt and nut for the Mono-Strut. Now you can reach in, jack the bike up a little more, give us all the space we need. It's like lots of room for activities, lots of room. And you can pull that shock right out. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. And that goes over here. Sorry, Fizz. Now you can see this gaping hole. Whoa, there's like dead spiders, there's an earwig. There might be treasure in here. Okay, so before we do anything else, I'm gonna get my DeWalt dustbuster. My grandma would have loved this thing. She had a dustbuster that like plugged in the wall in her kitchen, and it was shaped like a fucking wedge with a handle. It was the most unimaginative thing you could think of. But it sucked up crumbs and shit, and she was in love with that thing. This is sick. Battery powered, has a hose, you can suck things with it, just, you know? Yep, a lot of sap in here. All right, now we're gonna get our Mono-Strut. Ta-da! Oh, shit. If you are going to install our Antares kit, you will retain the front bolt, but not the rear. So for now, we're gonna show you guys how to use both the stock bolts with the Mono shock. Okay, this goes up in the front. Gonna get our front bolt first, front butt bolt. And if you look through the back, you can see the bolt coming through. You're gonna set the Mono-Strut between the two holes. And I'm doing this kind of backwards to how I normally would do it by feel. There you go, that easy. Came right through. The nut in here, start threading it on. There we go. Yeah, that's right. Doo-dah, doo-dah, doo-dah day. Now you don't want to tighten this all the way, so we'll stop right there because we still need it to move up and down. Now we're gonna lift the back of the Mono-Strut and we're going to drop our jack a little bit. See if I can change hands, give you a better angle here. Now what you're gonna wanna look for is the holes to line up between the swing arm and the Mono-Strut. Now our Mono-Struts do lower the bike. As you can see, we're getting a little lower here. Getting pretty close. All right, now I'm gonna get my bolt here. Tack from the other side. There we go, done. All right, now we get the nut back up in here. Now we can go back to finishing, tightening the front bolt and nut on this Mono-Strut. I can't see the hole I'm going into, so I'm trying to imagine where it is. Oh, turn the lights on. Give me a map. I need a fruit snack and a juice box. There we go. All right, so now to button this up, we're gonna walk you through that process. Gonna take that little brace that we pulled out earlier, gonna push it into the other side and drop it in right here. You're gonna look underneath, make sure the holes line up. This is the coil mount that we pulled out earlier with our bolts. I like to stick the bolts in the hole, just that reminds me where they go. So we're gonna take this guy, mount it back up where it's supposed to be. Oh, our bracket fell a little bit, that's okay. And I'm gonna get that forward bolt and thread it in. Beautiful. Now we'll do the rear bolt. Words to wise, when you're doing this, I know drill drivers make things easy, it's fast, they're fun. Don't start threads with a drill driver, ever. You can ask my brother about that when we were working on a Triumph together, and he started the threads with a spark plug with a drill drive. And he thought it'd be a real bright idea until he realized that he stripped the threads out. And we had a T100 on our hands that I had to figure out how to retap the threads. It was a real fun learning experience, I'll tell you that. But hey, learn from my mistakes. Don't use a drill driver to get bolts and nuts in. Start them with your fingers first if you can. Get extension, get a tool, and then from there, you can use air ratchet if you want, but an impact driver a lot of times can rip threads. So back to the task at hand, we've got our coil mount in securely. We're gonna double check up here, everything's lined up. Yep, our brace is back in place. Now we're gonna take the coil and thread the wiring back in properly. That's the ignition wire goes down below. And we're gonna get our two bolts that we saved from earlier. thread these back in real easy. Now the rear one's a little harder to get to with your fingers, so definitely want to stick that in a socket. Get it out there. Made to get a short socket, yep. I literally have a socket holder with all 10 millimeters, and I have this really insane little tiny 4.5 millimeter socket, but this is all 10 millimeters because, you know, it's 10 millimeter, you lose them. So you get this bolt here, thread it back in. One of the reasons I like using quarter drive on a lot of this little stuff, because a lot of this is plastic, they're small electronic parts. Quarter drive, or the drive size of your tool, can also be a torque limiter. I can't crank as hard on a quarter drive as I can a 3/8. Can't crank as hard on a 3/8 as you can a half drive. So when you're doing small stuff, a lot of times a quarter drive is a really great way to feel how tight the bolts are on small gauge stuff like this. Now we take our electrical clips, clip our stuff back together, just like that. And most of this is broken, so it doesn't fit anyways, but we'll play make-believe that it does. Ta-da! Now we'll go to the other side of the bike. There's one time in life when dropping your nuts is acceptable and preferable. When you're working on motorcycle shit, it is not okay. Make sure you hold on to your nuts, like a man. So now we're gonna take this little nut that we had from the plastic electronics stuff bracing. Like my technical terms I'm giving you guys here, really educational on it today. Gonna get that little fucker in the hole. There we go. You hear that? Everybody in the complex knows when we're filming, and they make sure to rev their engines, do yard work. I'm waiting for the chainsaw and weed whacker. Dunsky. And we're gonna reinstall the forward mount for the side cover, right back where we got it. There we go. Obviously, we didn't take off side covers, seat, fender, anything like that. You may need to pull some more things off, but all in all, this whole project should take maybe 2 hours if you take your time, smoke breaks, have a few beers, share some dick jokes with your buddy, you know, your girlfriend calls you, whatever. It's a pretty simple task. Putting in a mono-strut, removing the mono shock. As always, make sure you clean your tools when you're fucking done. Put them away, give them a nice safe place to sleep at night. And if you have any other questions, make sure you drop us a comment down below. Thank you guys very much for watching. If you found this video to be totally shitty, as we usually aim for, then you're definitely gonna wanna check out the rest of the series. The next video coming up is gonna be how to install our Precio kit. And that allows you to install a curb bobber fender on this bitch right here. So thank you guys very much for watching. As always, leave some comments, tell me all kinds of stupid shit about your life. I'd love to chat with you. And like and subscribe, that shit's super important, and do fun shit.